Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. BTC is cracking below our second artificial support level. And again, I keep saying it's artificial support, not that it doesn't exist, but that it's not really going to hold. Same thing as what we saw back over here in 2018. Again, I don't mind repeating myself. I think it's important that you see this. We saw many such artificial support levels, all these little pivot lows that everyone thought, oh, these are definitely going to hold. These have to hold. And lo and behold, we saw every one of these get cracked. Boom, 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 eventually. So what does it mean for where we are right now? That's a great question. We have two of these taken out. And the reality is that we have a massive gap between 75K and 49K until we hit our next one. That is a drop of 34% from the previous gap. I'm sorry, the previous artificial support at $74,508 down to $49,000. Anything can happen during this time. I want you to understand that if you guys have been watching these videos every single day, I understand you guys can't watch every single video. It's totally fine. This is why I do the recap at the beginning. But the main thing you have to understand is that when these artificial supports are really close together, typically we just see them all taken out, boom, 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 right in a row. It's not like this slow little, like kind of peeling off the Band-Aid. It's usually a very fast move, like back over here, the 24th of February. We had all these support levels here, $89,800, up here, $91,000. And on the week of February 24th, 2025, in a single week, we had a massive lower wick down 18%, taking out all of those levels. That's typically what happens in crypto, not this little like namby-pamby little, oh, maybe I'm going to fall. No, it's going to be painful, just like it was over here. Something to note that there was a nasty streak here starting on the week of the 28th of March, 2022, down here to the week of the 23rd of May, 2022. 8 weeks, 56 days of consistently red candles. That ended up being a disgusting streak of actually a max of 44%. That's rough sauce. I want you to understand something as well about markets and probabilities. No market can ever, I repeat, ever sustain one direction, ever. There's going to be some sort of a change up. So when we have a confirmed bearish market like we did back over here, there's going to be some sort of a bounce or a show of support, like here on the week of the 13th of June. Don't worry, I'm going to get to where we are currently, but I want to show you this first because this is the best way that you can understand where we're likely going next, what will likely happen next. The next thing is to identify some really long lower wicks to give us a sense of, okay, maybe we found a bottom. Like we saw back over there in 2022, something similar happened as well back in 2018 for those that are curious. If we go back over here, and we don't need the TBO to show this. Look, really long lower wick, kind of, 4%, yeah. This is what I'm talking about, okay? And eventually, the charts fall massively, okay? Band-Aid method. I love this. This is much better. And then it's going to be choppy for a while until we get our footing. And again, the same thing can be applied to the upside. No bullish uptrends will last forever. Eventually, there will be signs of exhaustion, okay? So please, I know some of you are getting a little bit discouraged with some of these videos and how things are right now. Let's just look back over here just to help you see this, okay? And again, this is all like probabilities. So if we go back to the week of the 27th of October, 2025, we saw a 4-week downtrend. Even though it says 3 bars here on TradingView, it doesn't count this bar. But this is actually 28 days. All right. So 28 days later, we saw BTC fall from 116,400. I know, the good old days, down to $80,600, 30%. What happened after that long lower wick here of 7% on the week of the 17th of November, 2025? We chopped sideways for quite a while. We actually had our bear flag. Remember this? Yeah. Again, good times, right? Super duper fun. And when we lost our bear flag, we fell down. We went up to test it, and now we're falling lower. Why am I sharing this painful memory again? To emphasize the fact that this market, which dropped a whole lot, BTC falling 4 weeks in a row, down 30%, hurts a lot. And now, just for context, if we're counting the week of the 19th of January to where we are now, we're down about 23%. So am I saying, oh, we're almost done? Kind of. This is 3 weeks in a row of pretty red price action. We've already hit one artificial support level at $80,600 and another one here at $74,508 as well. Okay? Because we have this huge expanse from 75-ish K to 49K, a drop of 34%, I highly doubt that Bitcoin will just immediately plunge down to $49,000. We'll probably hit some sort of level of support before then. If we go back over here to 2024 in March, there's one level that I didn't mark because I don't care about pivot highs as much as I care about pivot lows. And even so, this pivot high here, and let me go ahead and change the color so you can see it a little bit better. $73,777, that was already hit. It actually hit it and we closed below it yesterday. So this is why I don't really focus on the pivot highs. It's always the pivot lows, okay? But just to prove a point, driving it home, there could be some show of support in this range from 73K, maybe here to $70,000. It's a nice round number too. But again, our next real strong level where we should probably see some sort of a balance of support is down here at 49,000. What happens between now and then, I honestly don't know. If we go again to look at historical price performance back in 2022 from March all the way to June, this is a pretty rough drop. But we also had systemic contagions, systemic collapse and contagions over this period of 12 weeks. It was bad. 48K down to 17K, down 63% in 12 weeks. BlockFi, Celsius, Terra Luna, there's probably others, Three Arrows Capital collapsing, okay? We don't have anything like that happening yet, but there could be some bad sauce happening soon. I don't know. I don't have any inside information. I'm just saying that's what caused that extremely dramatic sell-off. Back in 2018, what caused the extremely dramatic sell-off was losing the floor, the must-hold floor that everyone said, no, 6K is going to hold. This level, we're going to see a massive bounce from Bitcoin, and it's going to go super duper high from here. No, it lost the floor, and because that, lots of stop losses were taken out. People gave into fear, people gave into panic, and Bitcoin fell from there about 48%, real quick, real fast, and that was it. One other thing you have to know about the 2018 market is that we were already on our counter, okay? So we had already seen about a year from our top to our drop, and this last drop happened in basically, let me go ahead and just measure it out for you so you can see this, okay? Don't worry, I'm going somewhere with this. 52 weeks, right? If we look at this whole span of time, 52 weeks was the top to the drop. Top in 2017 December to the drop in 2018 December. Okay, stick with me. The last part here in this cycle only lasted for 4 weeks, 5 weeks essentially. So 10% of the time was this massive, massive dump. Okay, stick with me, all right? I'm going somewhere. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. Again, I'm trying to help build your expectations. Top in November 2021, 69K. Bottom, November 2022 at 15K. All right, 54 bars, almost a full year. Now, the interesting thing about this previous bear market in 2022 is that the dump happened really fast. It happened basically, how many bars is this? 21 bars or 21 weeks after hitting the all-time high. And then it continued to plunge from that point until about here for 12 bars. So the bear market felt way worse in 2022, personally, than what we experienced in 2018, where 2018 we were bouncing off 6K over and over and over. Okay? So now let's look at where we are now. Let me go ahead and hide my artificial support so we have a little bit more clarity. I expect it to be a 52-week bear market, 126K, and then down to October, first week of October. So maybe October the 5th in 2026, right? So somewhere around here. And again, going down to about 31K. And that's my target. You don't have to agree with me and it's totally fine. Let me just prove the point though, okay? So that's 52 bars. Got it. Great. What's interesting is that we are mimicking or emulating the previous market right now, the 2022 bear market compared to the 2018 bear market. Okay, we also had an explosive parabolic blow off top. We didn't have one in 2022. Now let's measure out how many weeks it's been or how many candles it's been since we had our top to our big drop that's happened recently. So we'll say here, so 14 weeks or so, 20 weeks, very similar. It's actually happening a lot sooner, which is, well, is what it is, right? Can't really do much about it. If we want to do here, like maybe 15 weeks. So the last time that this happened, again, systemic collapse meant that we saw BTC drop dramatically over 12 weeks. If we saw a perfect copycat move over 12 weeks, that means that Bitcoin could potentially drop a lot lower, again, down to maybe 40K, where now our artificial support comes into play, maybe in 12 weeks' time, which would be the middle of April. It falls down to 49K. Again, these are like crazy, wild projections that are just based off of super duper loose data points, okay? The 2022 bear market, 2018 bear market, very different markets, okay? So it's really, really, I don't have a lot of confidence saying this is exactly when it's going to bottom as far as this pullback that we're having right now. But what I can tell you is that the move isn't going to last forever. I'm going to keep this data just in case because I tend to delete stuff. I'm going to title this bear market drop duration, something like that. Cool. All right, let's keep going. All right, so let's go back to, here we go, BTC. Now, do you remember the TBO breakdowns that I shared with you guys? There's a couple of things, and just to bring everyone back up to speed. The reason why Bitcoin is breaking right now is because we had a bear flag. A bear flag is when we have higher lows, like this, like this, like this, and higher highs, which trick and fool everyone into thinking, oh, we're going to go so much higher. Even I was tricked because I thought at least we'd go up here to the top, resistance at around 103K. We didn't. But the inevitable outcome for all of these bear flags is the same. The price breaks support, and it goes up to test it, and it gets rejected, and it falls a lot lower. This is literally what's happening right now. This is the path. This has been the plan. Nothing has really changed. This is what's happening next, okay? Now, I want to talk now about the TBO. Why? Because the TBO is the best trading view indicator I've ever used to gauge the strength of the trend, to identify reversals, pullbacks, trend reversal, all that stuff. Now, there's one really easy line that you can pay attention to in this indicator, and that's this line right here, which is called the TBO slow line. This gives us the macro trend based off of the direction of this. If this line here is pointing down, which it is, this means that we have a macro bearish trend. Macro meaning like zooming out to the big picture. A lot of us get stuck on the 5-minute candle, 15-minute time frame, maybe 30-minute hourly, and we forget to zoom out. This is why I love the TBO. Yes, I'm going to get lots of bullish reversal signals like we saw from a different indicator, TBT divergence, right? Or seeing the price bouncing off of TBO support felt good, gave us some good profits actually, because I took a couple of long positions here and we closed in profit at our exact target at 97K, which is wild for the Better Traders Club. But I warned you guys, once this level of support gets broken, this is most likely when we're going to see TBO breakdowns. And now this is where the TBO or the trending breakout indicator breakdown isn't in it because we don't want to focus on the breakdowns, but it's just inevitably going to happen. But these yellow dots tell us, buckle up, Buttercup. We're going to have some explosive downside continuation. Since confirming, and we had 3 of these in a row, and you guys, I know that I can be emphatic. I know that I can be ridiculous and a little bit dramatic as well, but you have to understand that when I tell you, like, and I give you these facial expressions like, good Lord, like, and I take a minute, you have to understand that I'm also processing this like you, but I've used this indicator since I think 2018, 2019. I know what this means, and this means just is bad. It's like X-lax bad, okay? So what have we seen since the third one? And again, 3 in a row on the daily time frame is nuts. So since Tuesday, we're already down 9%. I still think that we're just getting started. I think that we're going to go lower. The macro trend is bearish. We broke our support level. We have confirmation that we're going to be exploding a lot lower. We've also broken our artificial supports, 2 important ones. And now we're going to fall down to 70K. And again, we're heading down at least to the next target at 49K. That's the next one. All right. Other indicators outside of the TBO that I'm also looking at. On-balance volume is one of the best free indicators that you can grab from TradingView. Go here to the indicators, type in OBV, and it's going to be here in technicals. There we go, on-balance volume. Click the star to save it to your favorites, which you can see it's clearly here. And then once it's here, I also add a 21 period smooth moving average, 21 SMA. Why? Because having the blue jagged line, which represents on-balance volume, which is cumulative volume day over day. So if we have green candles, green closes with lots of volume, we will see on-balance volume move up a lot higher. When we see a lot of volume and those end up being red candles, we see on-balance volume drop a lot lower. So we can get some weird bumps and stuff like this. So what's the deal with the moving average? The moving average confirms the real macro trend, like the TBO slow line, except this has to do with volume. And when we're seeing this have a very, very strong bearish trend, meaning that on-balance volume, the blue line, is below the moving average and the on-balance volume moving average is pointing down, this is telling us we have strong bearish momentum. Okay? So outside of the TBO, we have confirmation that we have a lot of volume that's focused more on selling than buying right now. Well, they have to buy in order to sell. I get it. But anyway, even here with the TBT base to quote currency converter, which is available for free from the better traders, this is a great indicator because it automatically converts the base currency volume, Bitcoin, which you can see right here. The volume shows like 200 or something like that, which isn't as reliable. And it converts it into the quote currency, which in this case is Tether USDT. So the reason why this is great, and you can't see it because my little floating head is hiding it, is because that way we can see what's actually being traded and we can use this to make position sizing decisions, okay? That's getting into course content. I don't want to go much further than that, but understand that when we see volume exceeding this yellow moving average like it is, and the moving average is moving up, even though this looks bullish because it's moving up higher, just understand that if there's a lot of increased volume and we're seeing more selling pressure, prices going lower, that's where on-balance volume just kind of puts the two together and synthesizes it. It makes it a lot easier to process. So volume's helpful. You should use this. Another thing that you'll want to note here is that relative strength index, and I always use a length of 7 here, just so you know, because I want it to be snappier. Yes, I know, fill out your bingo card because I just said it. The one thing you want to be aware of is that we had a massive low on the 1st of February at 12.97, indicated here. We have now been officially oversold on daily RSI since the 30th of January, now for 7 days. I know it says 6 bars. Trust me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on day 7. Just trust me, okay? It's just TradingView, and they don't count the first space. All right. This is a pretty long oversold streak. Note that yesterday's RSI, it closed at 16.05. If we see Bitcoin close green today, we will see a higher low, which will feel good short term. I need you to understand, though, that this is par for the course in bear markets. I'm going to go back over here to the last bear market. You will see RSI. So look at the dates. January 2022. You're going to see RSI get oversold like this in May 2022. And yes, we'll put in a higher low and it's going to feel kind of good while you consolidate. And then we go again, drop lower in June. We see a lower low. Understand that bear markets, we will see RSI falling below 25 a lot. This does not mean buy the dip, because in a bottom year, we want to wait until the price bottoms out, and we're not close to it yet. At least I don't think so. All right. I'm spending a lot of time, by the way, on all this stuff because I know that you guys have picks. And unfortunately, tomorrow I cannot do a video in the morning because I have an event. So I can't do anything about it. But I'm going to film a separate video and schedule it out for tomorrow on your picks, your requests. So that's why I'm spending a little bit more time with BTC today to just kind of share my thoughts, but also, provide value. But I can't go into your picks today. That's going to be another video for tomorrow. But definitely, we'll get to that spiel in a second, but you know what to do. Now, Ethereum, no different. Actually, Ethereum finally cracked below right here. It cracked below its first artificial support level. Let me get rid of this because this is from another video that I did. So we have this level of 2111. What's the big deal? Actually, I'm going to go like this and go to the weekly so you can see this. It's actually a very, very important level here. 2111 or $2,111 was a crazy pivot level ever since here, April 10th, 2023. Now, the price of Ethereum went up to 2141, but you can see the closes here. The close is at 2118. The open this week is at 2118. Yeah. Then we see a pullback here the week of August 5th down to 2111. We see a pullback here on the 3rd, the week of the 3rd of February 2025 down to 2125, basically off that level. We see another pierce of it on the week of the 24th, 2025. Then it loses it, pumps back up when we have the recovery after the tariff fears. One more pullback on the week of June 16th, 2025. Where's that low? 2111. Okay, this is a significant level. Now, because we saw this level pierced yesterday, we know that there's a big difference between a test, like this is a test right here. This is a test. I would consider this one a test here in February. I would consider this a test here in August, and again here in September. These are all tests. A pierce is a sign of imminent weakness. Even though Ethereum looks to be kind of bouncing right here, this is a very significant level that's just been pierced. The last time this happened, just so you know, we did see some sort of a snapback on the week of the 24th, but inevitably the next week, the 3rd of March, 2025, closed below it and it fell a lot lower. So this artificial support, or this next target here, which is right there, has now been pierced. Yes, I understand that Ethereum right now is looking like, okay, cool, it's green, it's going to go up higher, we're going to bounce. Yes, the price of Ethereum has kind of been dancing around this TBO support level at 2188. I'm still more concerned about the fact that yesterday it pierced that level. It didn't close below, but it pierced. Now, same story for Ethereum, if not much worse. The slow line has been trending macro bearish ever since the middle of December and continues to point lower and lower. We also have a TBO breakdown cluster on the daily, last confirmed on Monday this week. Since that breakdown has been confirmed, Ethereum has fallen 12% so far. I expect it to go a lot lower. Okay. The other things to keep in mind and consider, on-balance volume is extremely bearish. Extremely bearish. Volume is picking up a lot as the price is falling, meaning that there's a lot of bearish pressure on the price. Yes, RSI is also on an oversold streak starting from Saturday up till today. So it's on a 6-day streak. Yes, we should see some sort of a bounce. Yes, we still have our CME gaps open for Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana, but it also might not get filled this week. We're going lower and lower, just dragging a little bit lower. So I don't know. I'm not so convinced we're going to see it close this week because it's a really big jump. Looking at Ethereum, the jump to fill the CME gap is up here at 2641. Some of you are saying, no, man, the gap has to be at the close of the previous candle. Okay, well, that puts it up even higher, which makes it even worse. So I don't know why you're trying to argue for that, but it's okay. I have to look into it to see. But either way, strong bearish. Okay. Now let's go back over here. Stablecoin dominance continues to push up higher. Why? Because I warned you guys that there is a TBO breakout cluster on the daily time frame after breaking above TBO resistance. This is a massive setup. Okay. Is it overextended from the fast line right now? Yeah, it is. But one thing you have to consider is that all 4 lines of the TBO on stablecoin dominance are pointing up independently. That means that this is a very strong bullish uptrend. Is RSI overbought? Yes. Again, kind of like BTC and everything else. It has been on an overbought streak for the last 6 days. It peaked out on February 1st at 85.42. Yesterday, it put in a high of 83.18. So it is admittedly a slightly lower high with a higher price, a higher high yesterday up to 10.613. So could we see a reversal? We could. I mean, anything is possible, but not everything is likely, as I love to say, apparently. But I still expect stablecoin dominance to be moving up a lot higher. Because we have the TBO breakout here for stablecoin dominance, this means that we should see more explosive upside continuation, which means more downside continuation for alts. Now, interestingly enough, Bitcoin dominance has been falling ever since Tuesday this week, the 3rd. Yesterday, it confirmed a TBO close short, which means like back over here on the 29th of January, 2026. The next day, it sprang right back up and tagged the fast line saying, okay, it's done. Now, seeing two of these within a week of each other, just so you know, I would still consider this a cluster. And this is actually a bigger deal than you realize because Bitcoin dominance printing two of these close together is a pretty bearish sign. Yes, we've seen a good uptrend here. I still expect Bitcoin dominance to roll over and fall a lot lower. We have a support level that's got respected, or actually no, it got established here. If it breaks at 59.13% today, there's a really good chance that we're going to see this dump. Now, when we see Bitcoin dominance dump, usually that dominance goes to others, but we're in a bottom year. And again, I expect Bitcoin dominance to drop a lot more. Why? Because as the price of Bitcoin falls, yes, we're seeing some people buying the dip as it falls lower, but we're going to continue. I expect Bitcoin to fall a lot lower. So we should see Bitcoin dominance fall as the price falls as well. Yes, some people will be buying the dip. The other thing to consider as well is that top 10 dominance, which is combining Solana, BNB, XRP, Doge, ADA, and SHIB, all the dominance levels, which equals to about 11% right now, confirmed a TBO breakdown yesterday, falling 2.3%. And look at RSI, massively oversold. Yesterday, I mean, that drawing is done, yes. Yesterday, it logged a low of 13.37. So, and it's also working on a second TBO breakdown after losing support. So I don't really see anything really recovering or bouncing back. It sure can, but I expect Bitcoin dominance to fall, which will give a false flag signal to others' dominance, which is actually bullish. Because if we look right now, BTC is red, but so many other charts are doing moderately better. Not incredibly better, but moderately better. So that's why others' dominance is moving up higher. The market is impatient and they're looking at Bitcoin dumping, so they're allocating to alts. And we also have a TBO breakout cluster on the 4-hour time frame for others' dominance confirmed Wednesday early morning, which is crazy to me. So we're actually seeing support for others' dominance. Money is flowing there. It's very, very weird that this is happening in the middle of a bear market, but is what it is. RSI locked in yesterday at 85.33. If we go over here, the previous high was on the 21st of July. Oh, I should write a children's book, apparently, at 85.59. So we have a slightly lower high. Are you hearing this? Right now we're exceeding it at 86.17, but it all depends on what happens today. So if we see a bearish close, that's most likely the high from July at 85.5, 59. Yep. And then yesterday's high at 85.33. It's a lower high. So we'll probably see some sort of a drop. But I don't know. We still have a breakout. It could push up higher. It's just very, very funny. Total ES, which is the total crypto market cap, excluding stablecoins. This one is still strong bearish. Again, we have a confirmed TBO breakdown. The market has lost effectively 8% or 188 billion over the last 3 days. What's interesting is that there are a couple of targets that we can identify here. If we use Fibonacci levels from the 2022 market, drawing from the top to the drop over here, the next level to watch is almost where our bounce was here in April of 2025 at 2.8 trillion. Then there's a support level at 1.6 trillion and then 1.34 trillion, all that stuff. So in terms of our artificial supports, they kind of sort of match up with fib levels, which is interesting. Okay, but again, I don't really see a bounce coming our way. what's actually happening right now on the total ES chart, just so you know, is that we're below the cloud on the weekly time frame, which is a transition from being in bearish consolidation to strong bearish mode, just like back over here, which means it's rough, okay? The others BTC chart is actually green and pushing up higher, which again is so funny to me. We have, again, TBO breakouts on the 4-hour time frame. Why? Because as we just looked at, if we're looking at like the top 200 coins, Bitcoin is red, but Ethereum's green right now. BNB is green right now. Solana is green right now. Other coins like Bitcoin Cash are up. Hype has been on an uptrend. We're going to look at a couple of my picks in a second, but it's very, very interesting to see others BTC moving up higher. Very, very interesting. It's also above the cloud, so it's strong bullish. So the market's impatiently buying alts, which is funny to me, given where we are. If we look at RSI, our previous highs were over here at 78.32. Yesterday, logged in a high at 80.17. So there's a very clear, strong uptrend, okay? Not trying to piss on anyone's parade, but I want you to see that when support gets broken, like it did back over here, support from the 18th of December, 2025 to here to the 31st of December, it got broken on the 8th of January. That was a downtrend for the chart. We have another steep level of support, very dangerous. So once we get any sort of pullback from BTC, it most likely will wreck alts, which means that this falls down and we see them fall a whole lot lower, just like we saw from the period of January 8th down here to January 20th. No different. The Dixie, just a couple of TradFi charts to draw your attention to. It has finally tagged or touched the daily TBO fast line yesterday on its high at 97.73. Cool. Does this mean that the Dixie, the dollar, is going to be recovering and going and pumping from here? I don't necessarily think so. This is just the first touch after being super overextended back on the 27th of January. So the Dixie has recovered by 2.24%, which is huge. That's a really big recovery, just so you know. On the weekly, it could still push up here. The weekly fast line is at 98.52. But what's more interesting is that on the weekly chart, the Dixie is right here at previously lost support, which is now acting as resistance at 97.714. Crazy. Why is this crazy? Well, yes, the Dixie has improved a lot. It's still strong bearish. If it pushes into the cloud, cool. That'll be a pretty big move for it. And it's also changed from being strong bearish to being in bullish consolidation mode. I think that it's made its move, its bounce, and that it'll most likely roll over. That's what I think. Now, let's talk about gold and silver. Gold is now back above the daily TBO cloud. So it's made a transition to being back to strong bullish. It hasn't yet pushed all the way up here to TBO resistance at 54.51 yet. But if we look at on-balance volume, even though we got a divot, a pullback on this on the 2nd of February, and then it went back above, notice that the trend is unfazed. This moving average here for on-balance volume is massively strong bullish, as is the TBO. Now, volume is dying down. Note that this happened after every previous one. Look, back over here on the 29th of December, big pullback. Look at what happened to volume. It died down a little bit. If you go back over here, this pullback on the 21st of October, look at volume. Similar story. It pulled back a little bit. Volume, interest faded while the price went down. It did not change the slow line. The direction of the slow line has been super strong bullish ever since. This is the daily time frame, you guys. Ever since here, January 2020, actually right here, March 2024. So any pullback we get is a buy the dip moment in my book for gold. Silver, this one has closed the TBO close long printed on the 2nd of February. Sorry, minor aneurysm there apparently. What does that mean? It means that when we get one of these blue dots, it lets us know, well, if you haven't secured any profit yet in your long position, when the price comes up and tags or touches this fast line, which it did yesterday on its high of 92.20, and the fast line was at 91.40, perfect. That's where we take out some profit. And guess what? That's exactly what I did over here on 2bit. On 2bit, I had a take profit target already set. You can see my entry here at 83.31, buying the dip, even though it got stopped out the day before. And look, that little red triangle, the red arrow right there, that's telling me that I secured profit. If we go down here on the right-hand side, it says realized P&L, 9%. So 9.78%, I took some profit out of my position, 1/3. Cool. And because I'm using AllTraded to do this, I had a stop loss that was basically down here. It was a lot lower. And because my target has been hit, now my stop loss has been moved up to my entry, where you can see stop loss right here is basically at my entry. And you'll see right here, this line, this is break even. If silver has a pullback and it falls down to 83.26, I close my position still with $34.39, which is awesome. This is exactly why I love using the AllTraded platform, and I teach you how to use this platform better through thebettertraders.com. Check out our courses. Start with 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom, Mastering Passive Income, The Smarter Trader. These are both advanced courses that you don't have to get crazy about yet. They do start from basically zero, but it really helps to have a firm foundation with the 15 Minutes course, which includes the TBO for a month and the club. It also includes the PDF copy of the Better Traders Journal, which is now in print on demand via Amazon. If you guys decide to purchase this, thank you. But please consider leaving a review for it as well. That'd be awesome. For better or for worse, constructive criticism is fine. And I mentioned 2bit being connected or connectable with AllTrading. 2bit's awesome because they are a non-KYC requiring crypto exchange, so you can use it from almost anywhere in the world. Caveat, if you want to generate an API key, you have to do the KYC, but you don't necessarily have to use it with AllTrading, but I love using it with AllTrading. I think it's great. Okay. And I have a couple of other positions I just want to update you guys on. My H position here is still looking good. This kind of nonsense. Yesterday, we saw H move wick to wick 26%. See this little take profit target right here? How? That's perfect. So I've already secured profit at 26.89% for $81. Cool. That's exactly how I want to trade this. Now, because I've protected profit, my stop loss is all the way up here at my entry, which is an increase from the current price of 38%. There's a good chance that won't happen. But here's an interesting take, both with silver and also with H. So let's say that I was more confident that silver could go up higher. What I could actually do is, instead of getting stopped out on a potential pullback, because I've sold, I could actually buy more. I can add to my position on the pullback, and I basically reinvest what I have recovered, which it says down here. So I'd add it to the position by editing it. So why do this? Well, I put more money back into a winning trade. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. Okay, whatever. But if I'm expecting the price to go up a lot higher, then I want to be adding more on the pullbacks. And you can do the same thing with shorting. I've been talking about this in the Better Traders Club Discord server, coaching people as well on this idea of reverse DCA. In that if there's a bullish reversal here for H and it gets close to here, I actually might consider to sell more, to take my recovered amount here of 221, add it back in, I don't know, somewhere like around here. I don't know yet. But the idea is that I want to put more to this trade. Why? I've already secured profit, and assuming that the price might do something like this, it goes up, but then it's going to go a lot lower. I want to be selling more on the bounce. The same way that if I were using a DCA strategy, buying here, and then buying 2 times as much on the dip, I want to be selling on the bounce. It's the same idea, except this is with leverage and shorting on the futures market. You get it? Just a little taste. Okay. That's what we do at the Better Traders. Okay. So again, if you have coins that you really want me to analyze and check out, leave a comment down below. Make sure that you add the $ when you're doing that, because if you just write a word, like, it's going to be difficult for me to either figure out, is this a stock? Is this a crypto or whatever? Please use the $. That helps a lot. And then also, if you do that, you owe me a like. You definitely owe me a subscription. So definitely subscribe as well if you haven't. And if you've done all those things, consider sharing these videos, reposting, retweeting, emailing, whatever you need to do to help me reach my target of 100,000 subs. I'm doing my part. Now it's up to you, okay? And thank you again for all of you that have recently subscribed. You're all awesome. Now, I'm going to get into my picks. Tomorrow, I'm going to go over your picks. I know, just chill. Okay, I'll do it, but not right now. All right, hype. This has been a really fun chart to trade. So I just want to tell you, I took a short on hype here. I got some money. Great. I moved my stop loss to break even. I got stopped out. Guess what I did? So that was back over here on the 29th of January. I did the same thing, entering a short at the top of the cloud here on Tuesday earlier this week. I took a little bit of profit out on the pullback. And guess what? I got stopped out yesterday. Oh no. So am I giving up on yesterday's move that went all the way to the top of the cloud? No. Guess what I'm doing here again? I'm entering another short here. Why? Because I am betting that this thing, even though it is bullish, I cannot deny that this is a bullish chart. All I'm looking at right now is BTC. Weak BTC. Yes, on balance volume is kind of sort of moving up. Yes, hype does have TBO breakouts, but these breakouts, again, this is what's giving me the conviction on the 4-hour time frame. After seeing a massive push of 54% seeing breakouts, these are most likely exhaustion breakouts, meaning that they're happening way after the move is basically finished. And it's usually marking a top, a pullback, which had a pullback of 18%. Look at this TBO breakout at the move, or after a move of 24%. What happened after that? It fell back 15%. So even though this is a macro bullish chart on the 4-hour time frame, I'm also like, I can't take my eyes off of weakness appearing in RSI on the 4-hour time frame. Seeing this level of support here, once this gets broken on RSI, this chart's going to drop all the way back down. A lot of people are ignoring the signs that, yes, even though Hype had a great day yesterday, it's really good. I don't want Hype to fail as a project at all. Yes, volume is supporting the move. It's good. Yes, on balance volume on the daily time frame, the macro trend is moving up. But knowing the macro crypto vibe right now, the environment is bearish. Therefore, I think it makes way more sense to be selling these bounces down because I actually expect Hype to drop a lot lower. I don't care what you guys think. I think that makes the most sense to me, and that's been my trading plan. If you disagree, cool. Go for it. It's okay. If you're getting stopped out because you're going long and it falls, whatever, or you're going short, that's okay. Getting stopped out is it's how you protect your profit in trading. Just a couple of things. If Hype fails to close, as in one of these green closes, above the cloud today, if it fails to do that, it's most likely done. Most likely. Why? Because look at RSI. We had this great uptrend here, incredible move. Actually, let me just do a trend like this. Okay? I'll even be generous and do it like this. It's at risk today. See these bounces, these pullback to this support level? And what happened? We had a high here at 83.86. Why is that 84.23 there? Oh, and we typically see pullbacks from Hype after RSI gets above 80 at least. Okay? Given the fact that we're in a macro bear market, okay? And we saw a much lower high yesterday at 74.78. I actually expect to see this chart fall more. That's what I'm basing it off of is RSI and also seeing it struggle to close above the cloud. Now, if it closes above the cloud today, cool. It's strong bullish. Great. But I can't shake the feeling that this is just going against the trend right now. It's looking good, but again, the market is macro bearish. So where am I targeting? I really want to see Hype drop here to the fast line, which keeps moving up. This is always my first touch target. I take small little nibbles out. I think I have a level to take some profit right around here or so. I can't remember. I think 31 or so. I don't know. But right here on the fast line, which is currently at 29.46, this will continue to move up today. But this is the first touch. Notice that this level, if I just draw a horizontal line and then I get rid of the TBO, it's basically in all these lower wicks. So it's actually a really good target level to look to take some profit. And if I'm right and Hype is exhausted after this move, then guess where it's going? Down, because the macro trend is bearish across the board. You get it? All right, so that's why that one is light blue. I just wanted to share my reasoning behind why I have a short position on that. IOTA, this one is very odd. we have TBT bullish diversions, clusters, but more importantly, a TBO closed short. Now, typically these orange diamonds get me really excited. In a bear market though, in a bottom year, which is what 26 is going to be, we're going to see a lot of these closed shorts, like back over here in January 22nd, we saw one of these and it fell a lot lower. We saw some of these here. We saw a good bullish bounce, but this is when the market was cumulatively bouncing together. Right now, it's cumulatively falling together, but it is a bullish reversal sign. But because things are still pretty bearish, yes, we might see a bounce for IOTA. And this is the same story for everything right now. This is why I feel more confident to short the bounces on hype. So if we see IOTA push up to the TBO fast line, which is a 27% bounce, I'm going to be looking to build a short position once it tags the fast line. Why? Because the macro trend is bearish. H. This is one, again, that I shared with you before. It also printed a TBO closed short. So this is a warning to me, reminding me that I have a short position open. If I haven't taken profit yet, consider shaving off some profit after the price falls down and touches the fast line, which is doing right now. Co-AI. Very, very, very weird price action. 3 TBO closed shorts. And in the last, day or so, it's also moved up a total of 25%. This one has been historically volatile. I still think the chart's dead. I think it'll go a lot lower, but it is interesting to note the big bump in volume and price action. Now, there are some charts that have some bullish signs forming with TBT bullish divergences and clusters. I need you to understand, though, that the TBT divergence will be early. It's trying to highlight a divergence between price, RSI, and other elements. So when we see these, even a cluster as bullish as this looks, and we know that our others BTC is looking great right now, and to be honest, Litecoin isn't dumping. It's actually holding this level, which is odd. We have to zoom out, though, and understand we have TBO breakdowns. We should be expecting more bearish downside explosive moves, and also the slow line is trending down for Litecoin. But we have some warnings about a potential bullish move, a bounce. Same thing for Pepe, same thing for Tau, same thing for ENA, same thing for Render, same thing for Virtual, same thing for CFX, I believe. Yep. Not for TWT and not for Mon. Okay, good. So let me get back to the swing of things. Cool. All right, let's keep going. Morpho. This one is bullish. It's green because it's making these nice bounces between $1.09 to about $1.34. Yesterday's move went up a lot higher. It did not hit resistance, but it moved up pretty well. On the 4-hour time frame, it's still really nice for trading. Does this mean Morpho's making a comeback? I don't necessarily think so because the macro trend is bearish, but it's green because it's making some good moves, some good price action that's fun for trading. Trust Wallet. So this is when I said, I think this one's going to have like a weird U-shaped recovery. We should probably see an RSI reset. We got it. Cool. We've seen this before, by the way. We saw an RSI reset on the 26th of December for Trust Wallet. Back over here, and we saw Trust Wallet move up in total 18% after confirming that. So an 18% move, if it did an exact copycat move, which I don't expect it to, is up to 0.8432. Where did I get 18? Oh, I was looking at 18%. But we cannot ignore the fact we have 2 TBO breakdowns. Actually, these are the last 2. There's the first one. So if we see Trust Wallet come up here to resistance, which will most likely be around the TBO fast line, we should be considering going with the trend, which is shorting. Monad. This one had a crazy pump yesterday of 12.5% up to the TBO fast line. So what did I do? You guys probably already saw it here on ALTS.D, but I opened up a short position, again, betting against the fact that this is just an short-term oversold bounce, okay? This is the same reason why I decided to short Stable, same exact logic behind it. Now, if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. That's okay. You have to understand that there are going to be risks in trading, and if you get stopped out, so be it. But you're not going to make money if you don't have some skin in the game. So you have to be taking these decisions, and you also have to develop trust in a strategy or system, which is why I use the TBO indicator for this. But it is here. There's a chance that it goes up and I get stopped out. That's too bad. But I'm betting on the fact that I believe that we're going to see a drop back down to support for Monad, which is about a 10%, 11% drop. Just a couple of reminders here. CC, just an update. Remember this? I was talking about RSI having support and then cracking below that support level, doing one of these little divot moves like we saw back on the 2nd and the 3rd of January, which happened on the 1st and the 2nd of February. And where's RSI now? It's dropping just like it did on January 3rd, 4th, 5th, all that stuff. What's price doing? It's starting to show signs of weakness. So entering here at 0.19 was the right move. So now we're in 10% profit. We're looking to take some profit out once the price falls to the fast line, which is currently at 0.1628. I would consider protecting profit by moving your stop loss into the break-even zone or just inside. So that way you've protected profit and that way you can ride the position down. Stable. Again, this is that chart I was just talking about before. It confirmed a TBT bearish divergence yesterday. It has this two TBO closed longs and another one just opened up yesterday. So this is one I was saying, like, guys, like I know it's strong bullish, trust me, and I like being bullish, but I'm looking at the signs. I'm seeing significantly lower highs here for stable. I'm seeing this uptrend, which is admittedly flimsy because it's curved. Okay, so let's not curve it. Let's just draw it like this. Okay, so it already lost it way back over here, right? So it lost it. It came back up. And this second touch right here, don't worry about this being resistance or support. Let's just focus on RSI. Whenever we see a significantly lower high after a massively overbought level like 94.75, that's typically a top sign, which happened over here on this big pump on the 2nd of February, right? So now we have a confirmed TBT bearish divergence. Awesome. This is telling us expect a pullback. And that's what we're seeing right now. Okay. Of course, some bearish updates. BNB plunged 7.62% yesterday. That's pretty rough. Again, I think it's going to be going a lot lower. Where am I? There we go. XRP confirmed a 3rd TBO breakdown yesterday. Zcash continues to fall lower. XMR has this confirmed TBO open long on Monday the 2nd, and it's still strong bearish below the cloud. Meme Core, this is one that, again, I'm trading right now, and I'm betting on the fact that it can't push inside of the cloud. Therefore, I'm expecting it to fall back down to support. Again, it's over here on AllTrade. Where's that position? Here it is, M. So again, it's just a little position. I'm waiting on this one to be in much more profit, waiting for it to fall down a lot more because it's failing to push into the cloud. It's struggling at the fast line. I could be wrong and I get stopped out. Oh well. But again, I'm paying attention to the slow line, which is chilling out, and it's also starting to neutralize and curl down. MYX, this is one I've been telling you guys, I'm expecting this one to also pull back. It's not showing anything bearish yet. It's just noticing weakness in terms of RSI, okay? IP, 3 TBO breakdowns on the daily, breaking support. Dash confirmed a TBO open short yesterday. Pendle, it's working on a 2nd TBO breakdown after printing its first one. Oh, sorry, 3rd one. And then Zebek Network, after losing support, has now fallen 20%, and it has 2 confirmed TBO breakdowns. Zen, 2 confirmed TBO breakdowns after losing support back on Saturday as well. So I want you guys to understand my thought process and my logic behind all these positions that I'm opening. I know it might not make sense in the moment, and I could, again, getting stopped out is okay. I would much rather get stopped out than get liquidated. If that happens, okay. It hurts. It's literally death by 1,000 paper cuts, but you also have to understand position sizing. You have to understand your risk to reward ratios, and you have to have enough resiliency to stick with your trading plan to see it through from start to finish, no matter what. And again, that's what I talk about in, where is it? This right here, which is the original Better Traders Journal. I'm still waiting on my copy to arrive, but whatever. Macro bearish. Nothing's really changing my mind. Tomorrow, I'm going to be posting the request video, but continue to leave chart requests. It really does help me out to understand what you're interested in, what you're curious about, even if it's stocks, even if it's currencies, or precious metals or whatever. We're kind of going that direction right now. So I want you to watch this video. It's going to be extremely important for you. And I'm so excited for you guys to see the video I have scheduled for Sunday. The people in the Better Traders Club already got it. It's awesome. So make sure you turn on notifications. I'm super pumped for you guys to see that. Until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.